everyone. Truly, I can say that I am very delighted today because we have not one guest, but we have four. And we have gathered to talk about a topic that is hidden the headlines. How should students, parents, teachers, and leaders prepare themselves to return to school? Or should I say, is it safe for everyone to return to school? However, I have Assistant Principal, Miss Heather DeSalvo, and she's in her second year as the Assistant Principal at West Feliciana High School. Prior to working in administration, she taught English for 8 years at Central High School. And next I have Susan Shepard Campbell, and she is the Exceptional Student Services Teacher for the East Baton Rouge Parish School System and have over 20 years of teaching experience with students who has disabilities and autism at Claiborne Elementary. And next I have Miss Ashley Singleton, and she began teaching 20 years, well, she has taught for 20 years, and she has worked in a variety of settings, ranging from kindergarten to high school. She has been a reading interventionist for the past 8 years at Baines Lower Elementary in West Feliciana. And next I have Elnora Gunter, who is an English teacher at the Early College Option in Ascension Parish, where she teaches speech and AP English language. Previously, Ms. Gunter won Teacher of the Year at the district level and earned her BA in English secondary education from LSU. How is everyone doing?
All right, we're doing well.
Great. Look, first of all, allow me to say thank you for accepting this invitation to be a part of this program on today. I am so excited to talk to you all. I know that a lot of things has been going on around the society, the community, as far as students returning to school. So first, I would like to direct this question to Susie. Now, Susie, can you tell us how are you coping during this crisis of COVID-19?
Well, it's been a challenge for me because I'm a outgoing, active type person, and just being inside has been a challenge for me. And I know if I'm feeling this way, I know how my students are feeling. Not being able to resume their normal activities, going to school every day. And I have been in contact with some of my students, and some of the parents have told me that it's been a challenge for them also, that the children really don't understand. Some of them don't understand why they can't go to school, and some are really upset about it.
Right. Well, you know, they have a right to be upset about it, but some of this, of course, is beneath our control or beyond our control, where, you know, with this crisis that has taken place, I think it has taken a lot of us for a loop. But I would like to ask Ms. DeSalvo, and you are a parent, correct?
I am.
Yeah, so tell us, how are you and your spouse and your kids are coping with this?
It's been a bit challenging. I have a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old. And so whenever the schools closed, I had to, like many parents, I was working virtually from home. And then I was also having to, you know, log them on to classes and help them with schoolwork and, you know, time management, which we preach to our students, was becoming a bit of a challenge for me as well. I know as far as the social aspect for my kids, it's been pretty hard because they love seeing their friends, do their play dates. We can't do any of that. So they miss normalcy.
Okay. Now, allow me to ask Miss Ashley Singleton, do you think that it is safe, you know, for the students to go back to school?
Well, I think that's an individual question that a parent has to ask themselves. We have such a wide range of students, also the members of their family who they live with. And so for some students, it may not be safe. And I think that's a question for each parent to answer and make that decision. I think a lot of it has to do with the school environment, and our schools and our administrators have really been leaning on their expertise to figure out what do we need to do to provide a safe environment for the kids. And so, this is unknown, and I believe it will be safe in the right context, and with lots of cleaning and lots of teaching our kids what they need to do to keep around.
Shepherd, excuse me, should I say?
It's okay. Yes, I was just going to say that I agree with Ashley that it should be up to the individual parents because everybody's situation is different. We have some students who live with their grandparents. Mm-hmm. So you have to really consider, okay, when you're going out and they're coming back into the home, then it's a risk for the grandparents. So they have to really consider all angles. And safety is always first.
Yeah, well, and that is absolutely true. Ms. Gunter, what is your intake on that?
Well, basically echoing off of what everyone else said, I'm glad that the school districts are respecting that this is a family choice, and that the governor respected that enough and not made it like mandatory that every child had to physically return to school. Because I would say probably a third of my students probably live with either a grandparent or an elderly relative, and that is a high-risk group. And, going in and out, they might think, hey, we just need to keep them at home because we don't know how COVID, it may affect the kid differently than how it affects us. So I'm definitely glad that they respected that this is a family decision. And I do what Ashley said. I think as long as we can communicate to the parents and the students, like why they have to wear a mask at school or why we have certain procedures in place, I think we should be able to maintain a hopefully COVID-free environment.
Yeah, and my only concern though, when we're talking about, kids, mm-hmm. I have grandchildren, 7 and 10. They know what's going on, but are they going to really practice that social distancing? That's the only thing that I'm really, my concern of, because really with this coronavirus, they are saying that it's more with people that has underlying issues, but I'm finding that to be inaccurate. So with that being said, it's very difficult to really, now if I had kids, these are my grandchildren, I don't have that decision to make as far as what I just
and each family should make that decision for their students.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. So, is very difficult, I really think. And my heart really truly goes out to the kids and, just people in general, what we're all going through. And it's not an easy task at all. But let me ask this. So what are some of the precautions that is going to be taken, Mrs. Savo, as far as?
Well, again, I can only talk about the district that I'm in. So I'm in the West Feliciana Parish School System. In grades pre-K through 8, we will be keeping static groups. So the kids will stay with the same 20 kids all day. Breakfast will be brought to them. Lunch will be brought to them. We, grades 2 and up, 8-year-olds and up will have to wear masks. It's mandatory in all buildings. All faculty and staff have to wear masks. I know we've put in, loads of hand sanitizer. Kids have to sanitize when they come into the building, and every 2 hours. We're also conducting temperature checks at the beginning of every day. In the high school, we have gone to a modified block schedule. So we're doing odd, even, virtual, odd, even, to minimize the time that students are together, like in the hallways. We're also utilizing the same plan as the elementary and middle schools, where they'll eat breakfast and lunch in their classrooms. Our biggest goal is we want to keep our students and faculty and staff safe. So we're putting every precaution we can possibly put in place. You know, we know there's risks, and we understand that, you know, there are students who aren't comfortable coming back, their parents aren't comfortable coming back. So we're also offering 100% virtual option for those students.
So what are precautions that Claiborne is taking, Ms. Shepherd?
East Baton Rouge Parish School System, they will be sanitizing on Wednesday. They'll take that Wednesday off. So the students will go 2 days, and then on that Wednesday, they will do virtual learning, because that's set aside for cleaning and sanitizing the whole school. And also at Claiborne, they will also be taking their temperature, social distancing, and just maintaining safety all around.
Okay. Now, I want to ask this, since Ms. Shepherd, you just ended that answer for that particular question. With coronavirus servicing, would you say that it is safe for those who have special needs to return to school?
That's a good question. In my personal opinion, I feel that it's a risk that parents have to decide if they're willing to take, or if their child, you know, physically and emotionally is ready to go back to school, because this has really affected the students, some of them in many more ways than one. So we have to really think about that individual child. How is it going to affect them? Will it be more feasible for them to continue to learn at home and get services at home than to go out and at risk of getting COVID-19? That's something that the parents really going to have to think about.
So are they looking
with the special population, with the substitute services? You know, they have service other than academics. You know, they have OT services, they have speech, and other services that they will have to be accommodated for.
So are they looking for students with these special needs to return?
Yes, they are. The ones with significant disabilities, they want them to return. They'll be going 4 days out of the week. They'll go Monday and Tuesday, have Wednesday off. Well, Wednesday will be virtual learning, and then they'll go back on Thursday and Friday. And for the regular population, general population, they will be going 2 days out of the week and virtual learning the rest of the week. That's the plan so far for EBR school system.
All right. Okay. Now, another thing is that a big concern of mine is that how COVID-19 has led to a greater gap in student learning. For example, there are families that do not, and I know one of you mentioned that the schools will provide, internet, or what is it, the MiFi or something of that caliber. But anyway, a lot of families do not have access to internet or computers or what have you. And what practices or suggestions, and this is directed to Ms. Ashley Singleton, what practices or suggestions do you, or would you say that you can share to prepare these students to take online classes?
First, I'd like to say there is, if you've never heard of it, summer slide, and it's where students that may sit during the summer and not learn very much, they can lose some of that learning, and then when we get back to school, we usually pick that up. Students have been out for a while, and we as teachers expect that, and we're ready and prepared to help them gain some of those losses that they may have had. One of the things is connectivity issues or device issue access that some students may have challenges with. Our district and some of the districts are providing things like hotspots or devices for the students to take home so that they can have full access. One suggestion that I give parents is make sure you have a schedule so that the students can have a routine, be ready to wake up in the morning and get busy with schoolwork so that they're not putting it off till later. But also, we are, teachers are here. We're ready to help and assist with parents that are home. The students are assigned a teacher, and you know, when the parents don't understand something or just need a little assistance, whether that's technology or how do they help their child, you know, reach out to teachers, because that's what we're here for. We want to see all of these students succeed, even if they're not physically on campus with us.
Ooh, awesome. You know, as you speak, I have to say this. I can just tell the genuineness that you have and the love that you have for the kids, you know, and that's a great thing. And really, that's what each and every one of you all, okay? And really, I commend each and every one of you all in what you're doing and the love that you have for these kids, because you know, the kids are the future. They are the future for tomorrow. And, you know, and without education, you know, it's not very much that we can expect out of them. And I know that a lot of the kids, they're bored. They're ready. They're ready to go back to school. But of course, you know, like Ms. Shepherd mentioned that, you know, the safety of the children is very important, and that's first. And that is, you know, to say that I am not, I'm a grandparent, but the safety of the kids is very important. And, you know, and I think it's a decision that you have to really, really think about in making that right decision as far as, you know, that. But I think the orchestration and the organizing of what the school systems are doing, perhaps hopefully that it will work. And this question here is going to be directed to Ms. Heather DeSalvo. For the first time in the teaching, you know, education programs, that students, that the transition is happening to where it's a new norm now, you know. So the question is that this cohort presents an opportunity for building. It's like creativity now for the future, because we don't know if this is going to be a continuation of what this, you know, this COVID is, and hopefully that things will change. And I know everybody is praying that it will, but would you say that there is a silver lining, you know, with this?
I don't know that I would say it's that, but I definitely think that virtual learning is, you know, it's not something that's going to go away in education. And so this has given us the opportunity to really work and develop a effective virtual plan for our district and for each individual school. Mm-hmm. You know, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears have gone into the planning and preparation for this. And, you know, I think that, yes, the kids will come in with a deficit, but we've planned to where we can have interventions and we can remediate it. And we're ready, you know.
Okay. Ms. Gunter, what is your input on that? Would you say that it is a silver lining?
I would say the silver lining I see, I hope that out of this, we have a generation of kids who have really good, like, I guess, perseverance skills, that they learn life doesn't always go your way. Sometimes things get turned upside down, but instead of moping or just giving up, you have to learn how to work through it and adapt. Mm-hmm. Skill that they'll need just to be able to function in life. So out of anything, I hope they just figure out, like, how to adapt to new situations. And if they do that, I think we'll have a pretty strong cohort to come out of the whole COVID crisis.
That was very well said. Being able to adapt. And that is the hardest thing is for anyone, not just, kids. Sometimes it's difficult for parents, or adults, right, to adapt. And that's the thing. If we learn to adapt and perhaps, I think that we can make a change, but it takes unity. And if everyone do their part, I think everything will come together. Would you say?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So I have only just a couple more questions for you guys. I want to ask this, is that when technology disrupted many sectors of the economy, there was hope that it would also accelerate learning and narrow learning gaps. But that never happened. So what are some of the transformations that we can expect, besides some of the things as far as, you wearing the mask and all of that we can expect to place in the school system? Who can address that?
I know for us, I'm in Ascension, and it really is varying by school because we all have different sized student populations. But if I'm understanding your question correctly, I think the biggest transformation, because I teach high school, it'll just have to be the socialization aspect. Because for high school, girls love to touch each other.
Yeah, right.
So I think that's going to be a big change because I know these kids, they never seen their friends. So I think just getting them used to you can't hug, you can't be off in each other's face. And even in class, most teachers don't just stand and lecture. So with all of these distancing requirements, not saying that that's what you'll see now, but the grouping and pairing might look different than what you would think a group or paired instruction looks like. And then going back to the gaps, I know for me, when we let out of school, I understand the children were out 2 months early, but just thinking about it, usually the last 2 months of school are testing and prom, senior events. So yeah, they were out for 2 months, but then if you really look at a calendar, I would say really the children only lost maybe a week or two of solid instruction, and the rest they missed really would have just been testing and days. But that's just my opinion on the gap stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, great. Well, look, I have this last question here, and I think maybe it was already probably answered without me actually asking the question, but this is the last question. How will the structure of the classroom work out, and basically about how many students I know I have different parishes here, and I'm sure this has been discussed, you guys having teachers meetings and all of that, but are they looking to having just a limited amount of students in each class? And I think, Ms. DeSalvo, you mentioned something of that.
Yeah, at the high school level in our district, we've capped our classes at 20. And the reason we've capped them at that is because we can socially distance students 6 feet apart in our classrooms. Now, to do this, we've had to remove all of the furniture out of the classrooms except for the desks. And so the teachers will have a small desk, but there's nothing in there except for desks. And so the teachers are going to have to be very creative because their materials will not be in there. But we wanted to adhere to the Strong Start guidelines that we were given. And, we want to keep our kids safe. So
right. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, you guys, look, I really appreciate each of you, but before we end this, I would like for each of you to just say something, just leave, a great word with the audience, to where they can prepare the parents, the adults, the teachers, the students. Anything that you can perhaps say, just to let them know that you're looking forward to seeing them and, whatever. So I'm going to start with Miss Shepherd. So
Well, I like to say to my parents and to my students that I definitely miss them so much. I love them so much. And my parents, take this time to really talk with the students, to get them to understand really what's going on. And I'll let them know it's not going to be this way forever, and things are going to get better. And let them know that soon they will be able to see their friends again, because they're really concerned about not seeing their friends.
Yeah.
So soon they'll be able to see their friends again. And just train them how to wear the mask, keep the mask on, have practice sessions at home wearing the mask, and washing their hands. So that's a very important part also of safety, keeping those hands washed with soap and water, hand sanitizer, and just getting them used to all of the things that they're going to have to do at school. So, yes.
all right. And Ms. Gunter?
Basically the same thing. We're all in this together. So don't feel like you're in the dark. It's a learning experience. Just know we're all in the same place. We all have the same feelings, but let's just try to keep a cool head. And if someone sneezes or coughs in class, you don't need to break out into hysteria.
Right.
But we're all in this together. It's a learning experience for everyone.
Great. All right.
Be patient.
Miss Ashley Singleton?
Yeah. Well, teachers are planners by their job title, actually. And, but, we're also very flexible, and we know that that's what we're going to need for this. So parents, just be patient with us as, we're navigating this together. And I think this is, it's an opportunity, and it's what we do with it. Are we going to let this kind of, bring us to debates and chaos, or this can be an opportunity to come together and really work together like never before as teachers in schools, and, as a community, to do what's best for our students. And I think from what I have seen and felt, I think that we can make that happen, and we'll see that as the first few days of school come. So we miss our students, and we're so eager to see them personally, face to face, even if the hugs may be limited this year.
Yeah. And that's hard, isn't it?
It is hard, especially with those little ones who, the first days they're dropped off and they may be crying, missing their parents. This is new for them. Some of them, it's the first time they've ever been away from their parents. And so we're gonna be as caring and loving as we can and as safe as possible all together. So we're gonna work through this.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you guys are going to make it. Okay,
Yes.
and Miss Heather DeSalvo.
I would say to our students that we miss you. We can't wait to see you, whether it's in person or virtually. Parents, we're going to do our best to keep your students safe. We're taking every precaution necessary. The teachers are working tirelessly to prepare for a successful start. And to our teachers, thank you so much for all that you do.
Great. Once again, you all, thank you so much for accepting to be a part of Exposure Spotlight Magazine talk show. I greatly appreciate you taking out your time out of your busy schedule, but this is a show where your voice matters, and truly your voice matters. And it has been a pleasure and an honor speaking with you. And I pray that your thoughts has helped someone that is out there listening to know that they are not alone in this pandemic. We will get through this. And I'm going to say to you all, please be safe.